Hi everyone, welcome to Digital Green's COCO Training module, where we'll learn more about COCO and how to use it effectively for data entry and monitoring. At any point of time, you can pause this video and practice what you've learned. You can then resume the video from the last viewed point. To access COCO, we go to www.digitalgreen.org/coco/v2. For training purposes, however, we will be using sandbox.digitalgreen.org/coco/v2. Enter your login ID and password. You'll come to the welcome screen. Most times you will get a download screen which shows data that's being downloaded from your previous session. It is highly recommended that you use a dedicated computer to use COCO to avoid duplication of data and any errors. In this welcome screen, you will see a green light in the top left corner which tells you that you are online. Talk more about the offline mode later. On the left navigation panel, you will see 6 categories: mediators, videos, groups, persons, screenings, adoptions. We'll first talk about the video production phase of the process. In the video production phase, when you're entering details related to the various steps, first click on to add a mediator, click the plus sign. In the screen that appears in the right frame, you will see several fields, some of which are marked in bold. The fields that are marked in bold are mandatory and you cannot skip these. Enter the name of the mediator. For instance, Anil. Select the gender from the drop-down. The details you see in the state, district and village drop-down menus have been entered by the program support team at the back end. All you need to do is to select the required field. Enter the assigned villages, that is, villages that Anil is active in as a mediator. For instance, we'll select R1. You can add more than one village. For instance, if Anil is also active in Bareya, you select Bareya from the drop-down. Next, we select the district from the drop-down. The district is linked with the villages that you have selected. So here it is Guna. If you have details like his phone number, please enter the same. If not, you can click Save and add another. Now that we've added the mediator for the video that's being produced, next we will add details of the actor featured in the video. To add persons featured in the video, click on the plus sign against the persons field. The add person form appears. Before entering a name, either of a mediator, a person or a group, do verify if the name already exists in COCO. If it does, please do not re-enter the name. You can add a surname or any other detail to the name you wish to enter to avoid duplicate entry. Enter the person's name. For instance, Shankar. Enter the father's name. Select the village, select the gender from the drop-down, enter the age if known, enter the phone number if known, and if Shankar belongs to any of the groups associated with the village, select the appropriate group and click Save and add another. Next, we move on to adding a video. On the left navigation panel, click the plus sign against videos. In the add video form, enter the title of the video, for instance, select the video type. A video can be an activity introduction, a demonstration, a discussion, a general awareness video, or it could be a success story or testimonial. Select the relevant category. For instance, the video on seed treatment could be a demonstration. Select demonstration. Enter the production start date, that is the date when you started producing this video. Enter the production end date, the date when you completed production of this video. Do remember, date should be in the format of YYYYMMDD. The calendar helps make it easy for you. Next, select the language of the video from the drop down. For instance, it could be Bhojpuri. Next, we see a field which is titled Summary. Although it's not mandatory, we recommend that you do enter a few lines to describe the video for reference. Next, select the village that this video was produced in. For instance, we select R1. Select the facilitator, that is, the person who facilitated the video with the featured farmer. For instance, we select Bhagwan Singh. Select the name of the camera operator. And select the persons shown in the video, that is, the featured actors in the video. You can add more than one person. To add a second and more people, just click again and select their names from the drop down. The next field is actors. When you click on the drop down, you will see the following categories: family, group, individual. For instance, if you have selected a group you've entered the names of a group in the previous field, you should select group. If it was a family of actors that you have featured, that you have listed in the previous field, select family. If, however, it is just an individual, select individual. So for this training purposes, let's select group. Next, you have to select purpose of the video, whether it's for dissemination training, pending for approval. This category applies to videos which have not yet been approved. Or this could be a video production training video. So for our training purposes, we will select dissemination. Once the video is approved by your supervisor, you will enter the approval date here. And the date again should be in the format of year, month and date. Once approved, all videos are uploaded to YouTube, where they get a YouTube ID. If you know the YouTube ID of your video, enter it in this field. Click Save and add another. You can add more than one video, as you know. So you can repeat the process again as defined. Next, we move on to the screening part of our process. For that, first we need to add details of the groups who attended the dissemination. Click the plus sign against the groups field. You'll see an add group form. Enter the name of the group. For instance, it could be Ma Sharda. Select the village which the group belongs to. For instance, we can again select Awan here. And then enter the names of each person belonging to the group which attended the dissemination. To enter a person's name, you will have just write their name here. For instance, Ashok Pandey. Father's name. The age if known. Gender, select from the drop down, and a phone number if available. You can add up to 10 persons in a group. If you want to add more, click on Add Empty Rows. Once you've added all the names of all the details of the members of the group, click Save and add another. As you can see, details of a group have already been entered. These will help you fill in similar group details as required. You can add as many groups as you like. We next move on to persons. Now, persons are Any external viewers that attended the dissemination who do not necessarily belong to a group. To add such persons, click on the plus sign. Enter the name of the person, for instance Birju. Enter the father's name. Select the village from the drop down. Select the gender, the age if known, the phone number if you have it. Maybe he does not belong to any group. He is just somebody who attended the screening. We leave these fields blank, and we can because they are not mandatory, and we click save and add another. Through this process, we have now added persons viewing the dissemination. We now come to screening. To add these details, click the plus sign against screenings. The add screening form appears. As before, all fields marked in bold are mandatory. Enter the date of the screening, for instance 13th September. Enter the start time. You'll need to follow the 24-hour format for this and enter the hour and minute format. So say the video was screened at 7:30, you would enter 19:30, and the end time say was an hour from then, you would enter 20:30. Select the village the video was screened in, it could be Awan. Select the mediator who facilitated the dissemination. All the mediators who are associated with the village will be shown in the drop down. So for instance, Om Prakash Lodha has mediated the screening. Here you have to select the videos that were screened at the dissemination. Although we recommend that just one video is screened at a time, often we do have multiple videos being shown per request. Select the videos from the drop down. For instance, paddy cultivation and seed variety. The village that you've selected from the drop down is linked to the groups attended field. So all the groups that are active in that field are displayed in the drop down. So select Ma Sharda as the group attending the dissemination, but another group attended the dissemination, you can add their detail, their name too. Select them from the drop down. These are the persons who could have been attending, who were not part of the group, but who were external people who attended the dissemination. If you know of people who did attend the dissemination, who are not belonging to any of the above groups, select their name, and you can add multiple persons. Next we come to the attendance details. Now you had selected two groups. All the member details of these two groups are displayed in the list below. What you have to do is filter through and delete the person who has not attended the screening, the defined screening. For instance, Ashok Pandey might have been absent for that screening. So click on the cross sign and delete him. Badrilal Kashiram, the next person, might have attended, and if he had expressed he adopted a video, you have to select the videos. Suppose he selected cleaning of coriander as the video that he has adopted. Click on that. If he asked any question, if the person attending the dissemination asked any questions regarding the video that you've screened, enter that question. If he has shown interest in adopting the practice that was featured in this video, click this checkbox. Similarly, you go on to all the group members and either delete them according to their absence at the dissemination, and if present, you add details of their interest in adopting a practice or a record of their having adopted a practice previously shown. Continue through the entire record and click save and add another. This is how you will record the details of the people attending your screening. Here's a screening form used by mediators. We now move on to adoptions. To actually record an adoption, click the plus sign against adoptions. You will see an add adoption form. Again, select the village from the drop down. Say we go back to Awan. We enter Awan, and so the groups that are active in Awan are displayed in the drop down below. So we select Yuva Krishak Samu Awan. And if there are any persons who have adopted and who do not belong to the group, you can select their name from the drop down. Now we come to the actual adoption details. The group that you had selected, details of the members are displayed in a list. For each person, if Bhai Badra, though he is part of Yuva Krishak group, he has not adopted a practice, you can just click on the cross mark and delete him from the list. Suppose the second person, Bangari, also did not adopt, delete him. If Bhagwan Singh, however, adopted a practice shown in a video, you have to select the video that he saw and the practice that he adopted. Say he adopted cleaning of coriander. Select that and enter the date of adoption based on what information he gives you. Suppose he adopted cleaning of coriander, he actually practiced it on 5th of September, select that. Similarly, for all the group members and all the individuals that you've listed, you will have to enter their details or delete them if they have not adopted a practice. Click Save and add another. You will see that these fields are now marked in red. This field is required because these are mandatory. Since you mentioned a group, you will have to either delete the people or add details. So let's go ahead and delete. For training purposes, we'll go ahead and delete these members. We delete them too, and we click Save and add another. This completes the adoptions phase of our process. If you have any questions, here's what an adoption verification form looks like. On adding or deleting or on the fields or anything related to entering data or modifying data in COCO, do check out the FAQ section where hopefully all your questions will be answered. This was about adding details to COCO. Till now we've learned about how to add data. Now, for instance, if you want to view data, sometimes you just want to view, or there are some details that you want to edit. In that case, for instance, say there is a mediator that you want to view the data for, or you want to see given number of mediators for a specific village. All you do is click on the corresponding field on the left navigation panel. For instance, click on mediators. You will see all the mediators whose details have been entered in COCO. To edit any record, you have to click on this icon, the pencil icon, to click and edit. For instance, if you have a phone number for Jagdish, you've recently received his phone number details, enter his phone number, for instance 9834566721. Click Save and add another. If you want to see the adoptions, similarly you can view and edit details for any of these fields. So this was about working in the online mode. If circumstances such that your connection gets broken or you go offline, for working in the offline mode in COCO, you can continue with all your activities as before, as in the online mode. You can add mediators. All the data that you enter will be stored up for syncing up when you're next online. So say I'm adding a mediator. Her name is Poonam Devi. Gender is female. And her village is Bolpur. district is Guna, and I might not have a phone number. I click and save another. What you will see is on the left side there is a sync box, and it shows that there is one record to be synced up with the next time you're online. You can continue adding and editing details in COCO, and all the transactions that you do or all the activities that you do will be reflected in the sync box. The next time that you're online, you'll see the green light again. Now that means you're online. You will see the next time that you log into COCO, you'll see how many records are there to be synced. Just click on sync and it will show you the data that's being uploaded to COCO. To repeat ourselves, please ensure that you use a dedicated computer while using COCO to avoid any duplication of data. Thank you.